I know that when Tectone, if you're watching this video, I love you. If you, Tectone, Mr. Pokey, 𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙗 and all of the amazing content creators that make Honkai Star Rail content and Genshin Impact content and gacha content in general, and all those amazing content creators, they will probably move on from Wuthering Waves the moment that it doesn't make them money. Because hey, you know, it's about money at the end. You know, like you might love a game, and if you don't need to make money, then you make content about it. I personally earn nothing except the motivation of watching people watching my content and liking it. And whenever you leave a like and a comment, you make me happy. I'm gonna cut straight to the point. This game cares about its players. It wants players to do well. It wants players to play the game. So, you know, this is a game that's gonna make it. It's all about determination in this life. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can achieve it. These people are honestly a little bit unexperienced when it comes to global games and games that are of this range. Like they made Punishing Gray Raven, amazing game with beautiful combat, but it is kind of like Honkai Impact 3rd. It's a game that's a little bit simpler to make. This game, on the other hand, it's huge. You know, I can only imagine the many bugs and everything they have to go through as a newbie, you know, game developer, which is Kuro Games. Is really an indie company compared to Hoyoverse nowadays, and they made an amazing game. So honestly, this game has a lot of potential to continue. Now, do I think this game is going to rival Genshin Impact? Honestly, I believe that it has already rivaled Genshin Impact. It has already made players to come to the game, to notice something else, to experience a more harsh combat, to experience a different dynamic with the Echo collection, to experience a more smooth movement throughout the map, thanks to the parkour that we all needed. We've been doing parkour for a long time through Assassin's Creed and other games that include parkour, but Genshin doesn't really have parkour. You have to force it. It's you gotta play around with the jumps mechanics. You gotta play around with the physics of the game for parkour to really be a thing on Genshin Impact, unless the character has specific mechanics in their kit that allows them to do stuff like flying or, you know, better climbing, things like that. But Wuthering Waves, you know, straight out of the back, every character enjoys parkour. So if you run into an object, as I'm probably going to show here, you are able to, you know, parkour in. If you are climbing through, you know, a mountain or whatever it is that you're climbing, you can climb the traditional method through, like Genshin Impact method, or should I say Breath of the Wild method. Then you can do it, and that way you're going to save some stamina. But anyway, you know, what I'm trying to say is this game has already rivaled Genshin Impact. Now, does it have to sustain the same amount of players that Genshin Impact has to be able to be considered a rival? Well, honestly, you could argue that, but I don't believe so, because if Genshin Impact has already made changes to, you know, the game, has already introduced mechanics and things like, you know, allegedly, like the Pokemon system that we're going to get in Natlan, the new zone of Genshin Impact, the new country, or, you know, whatever it is, that we're going to get in the Fire Nation, with the resin cap increase, and the several things that Genshin Impact has done as a response to the creation of Wuthering Waves to get the attention of players and say, hey, we're listening to you. So yeah, you know, in a way, Genshin Impact has been afraid, has been impacted, and now knows that a developer like Kuro Games can make something that it's a better product than Genshin Impact in some areas. Because let's be honest, some things, you know, just overall the beauty of the world, you know, the cleanliness and smoothness of designs and everything, you can argue that Genshin Impact is better in some ways. But Wuthering Waves has made an amazing game, and for me, it's beautiful enough to be able to be watched, to be able to be enjoyed, to be able to, you know, play it every day. And I'm enjoying Wuthering Waves, playing daily, honestly, great. So yeah, I don't believe that Wuthering Waves needs to hit the same amount of current players or fan base to be able to rival Genshin Impact. You know, Genshin Impact has been out for 3 years. It is a movement. It is cultural. People that don't even play Genshin Impact know Genshin Impact and talk about Genshin Impact and joke around Genshin Impact, saying, hey, Genshin Impact players, you know, this, Genshin Impact players that. So it's a movement. It's a cultural thing. And it is due to COVID-19. So we all know, we all got stuck. We couldn't do anything else. Now, for me, I didn't notice the difference because I was already stuck in my house. That's the only thing I did, It's my computer, it's my world, and whenever I jump into a game, I am immersed and I'm enjoying and I am the character. So honestly, I love gaming. But some people, were normies and they turned into gamers due to COVID-19, and the game that got released during COVID-19 was Genshin Impact. So that's the reason why Genshin Impact has, that plus the years of support from players and communities and all that has created that. And of course, Genshin Impact is also a more child-friendly game since the skill base is lower and kids can literally play it with like barely built characters and all that. They can play it and get through, do the story and all, and it is simple enough that they can play it. And if you know anything about video games, if the game can be played by kids, then you're gonna get a shit ton of gamers. I mean, just look at Roblox, you know what I mean? Look at Fortnite. They are kids games, now adults play it, adults enjoy it. I love Genshin Impact, but having, this audience of kids in a game, it's almost an endless source of players because the bigger kids are gonna play it while the smaller kids are watching the bigger kids play it. Whenever they're able to get it or they're old enough to play it, they will, and they kind of like feed back into each other and they go back to Genshin Impact and they play Genshin Impact because it's easy enough for them to understand. Now, Kuro Games made a product that is more for adults and teenagers. If you are 17, you don't want to hear Paimon say, hey, traveler, let's go here, let's go there. You probably don't want to, right? You're like, hey, Paimon, can I please just put Paimon in a box for a few minutes so I can enjoy the story? You cannot, right? But in Wuthering Waves, there's adults everywhere. There are some kids, but they're not part of the main story, and the whole overall arcing, the whole overall story, it is more adult-based. It touches things like death, corruption, sense of purpose and different things. So the story, it's not the best story of the world, but the universe where you're playing, it's a universe that is more adult focused. I know that when 𝙤𝙤𝙘𝙀, if you're watching this video, I love you. If you 𝙤𝙤𝙀𝙀, 𝙂𝙀𝙀𝙀, 𝙬𝙝𝙬𝙀𝙀, and all of the amazing content creators that make Honkai Star Rail content and Genshin Impact content and gacha content in general, and all those amazing content creators, they will probably move on from Wuthering Waves the moment that it doesn't make them money. Because hey, it's about money at the end. Like you might love a game, and if you don't need to make money, then you make content about it. I personally earn nothing except the motivation of watching people watching my content and liking it. And whenever you leave a like and a comment, you make me happy. So if you would do that, if you would happen to subscribe to this video, I would be forever thankful. But some other content creators need to make money. So if Wuthering Waves doesn't have a big enough community, it doesn't have enough engagement to the channel, they will probably stop making content about it, or maybe their resources to a secondary channel. So when this happens, there will be remaining a strong community that I sure that will stay there. And that community might be smaller, but it might grow with the years as the game continues to polish and as Kuro Games show gamers that they want the game to succeed. So I don't think this is going to be a pump and dump situation similar to all these other games like, for example, Tower of Fantasy. I know it has a strong community out there. If you're a Tower of Fantasy player, I'm sorry, I don't mean to smack on your game, but yeah, Tower of Fantasy was one of those games that it got out and it got out, and then the game just dropped, and now it has a very small community. But yeah, so anyway, without further ado, because it's been my ass just talking a lot, I did want to show you something. So if you're still here, this is what I wanted to show you as well. This is one of the reasons why I think Wuthering Waves will continue to kick ass into the future. Here. So as you know, Wuthering Waves, since it got released, it had a little bit of a bumpy road, some bugs here and there, especially for mobile experience. I haven't noticed significant problems when it comes to computer, when I play in PC. Of course, there's sometimes issues when it comes to the battle camera. In my opinion, I've noticed that sometimes the game camera just go fucking crazy. Like it'll just, show you the sky or something like that. Or you just trying to move the camera and it continues to show you one place. It's kind of annoying. I have noticed that you can fix it by just locking in though. But anyway, there are bugs in the game, and for mobile was worse. And they have made efforts to quickly change them, to quickly improve the game. And honestly, that's commendable. They honestly, since the beginning of the game, I've been following the beta. They have heard the community, and whatever it is the community would say, they would change it. community would say, hey, this design is ass, the character doesn't look good enough, and they would hear it and they would take it in and they would go back to the drawing board and make it more beautiful characters. They made that a couple of times. Now, not every character is beautiful like I wanted them to be, but some of them are really, really polished. So, you know, Wuthering Waves community and the developers, they care about the game. And right now, the latest change that they announced is kind of crazy. And I see what they're trying to do here. They want to keep their players that they have, and they want to properly reimburse them essentially for those bugs and problems that they have had. So here's a nice list of things that haven't changed. So we're gonna get this in 1.0. So that should be, I believe, in about 3 days or something, if I'm not incorrect. We're gonna get double echo experience event. If you know anything about Wuthering Waves, echo farming, it sucks. It's hard. You don't have enough echo experience. You feel like you put a shitload of resin or energy, whatever it's called, into the echo farming, and then when you're back and you try to level up an echo, boom, there you go, 2 or 3 levels. So definitely we need help in this. So here's the change. We're gonna get double echo experience, and they also adjusted the echo experience rewards from 1.1 onwards, so you're gonna get more of that. So they noticed that there was a, you know, definitely lack of echo experience. They also added 10 limited pulse compensations. So I don't know if you guys have pulled or not for the general, but I have been skipping on him. So this will be great, because this will put me, I think, like right on 60 wishes. I'll show it later on the video if I'm not showing it right now. We'll also get 5 weapon pools compensation. By the way, this should probably already be on your inbox by the time this comes out. Check out. We're also gonna get a 1 million credits compensations, which is great. Definitely credit, it's needed. If you've been playing since day one, you're probably already kind of lacking on that. And if you haven't made good resource management, which by the way, I will make a video on this, then even more, this would be a problem for you. So what else? We're getting new content. We're getting a new boss. We're getting Jingxi and Xiangli. So we're getting both Jingxi and Xiangli coming on 1.1. And a lot of fixes from common bugs known here and there. We're getting future events, which will be giving about 800 pull currency, Astrite. Then there's a new event that gives you more rewards. We're getting 20 stamina refills as a compensation. So, I mean, there's no excuse. You should be able to play the game for hours if you wanted to. And we're getting also a wave plate, you know, so resin or energy storage system in a future update. So one of the things they want to do is that whenever you're not able to play the game, your energy will stack up to 1200. So I believe that energy restashes a little bit more often here on Wuthering Waves than on Genshin Impact. So it's likely that you open the game and you have 240. So this is nice because it's going to increase that. Well, not increase it, but whenever you do reach that point, you're gonna get more energy, which definitely means more gameplay whenever you want to. So yeah, that's about it. This is another. Well, this is the website for Wuthering Waves. It's talking about everything that I mentioned here and a little bit of more data. I recommend you check it out if you haven't. You probably watched videos already about this, but that's why I didn't want to make my video about these changes. Instead, I wanted to bring more my personal take when it comes to why Wuthering Waves will continue to thrive in the future. Their player base might decrease a little bit, might you know, settle in a healthy floor, but once it has reached that point, I believe it's only going up from there if Kuro Games believes in the game, and we see that reflected in the you know, updates. There's gonna be dry patches on Genshin Impact. The more and more people are going to try out Wuthering Waves, and the hardcore, die-hard fans of Genshin Impact loyalists, they're probably not gonna try it. They're gonna, you know, keep playing Genshin. But if you are a player of Genshin Impact that is tired, that is kind of bored, doesn't know what to do, you already use your resin, there's no story, there's nothing else, and you want to check out an amazing experience that is completely different from Genshin Impact and is going to give you a much more rewarding combat system, then honestly, Wuthering Waves is waiting for you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I know I went a little bit too long over here, but this has been Argument Winner. Please go ahead and subscribe and like this comment video so that I can continue to be happy in my life. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.